Hey, welcome to the lake. This is Ben with Studio on the Lake. This intro, you will only be seeing this if you... Hey, Ben here with Studio on the Lake. So, hey, what we've got going on here is that this is the first of probably 3 videos on Ravin. And this Ravin is about 1/3 the size that he would be full, and I'm just doing a study of this one to do the full size one. So here's how it came about. A little Pixie Muse spent some time with me this weekend, and I think she arrived on a Ravin. So standard basswood in the background. I've got a pattern cut out. It's a profile. I'm going to go ahead and put that on the basswood. Then I'll take that over to the bandsaw. And I actually did some phone video of cutting on the bandsaw because a couple people had asked about it. I didn't think that was very exciting, but I forgot to put it in. So I'll probably throw that in the next one. Pretty straightforward. I just go out and slap that in, and I put a few reference lines in where the wings and that sort of thing are going to come in. All right, so I took him over to the bandsaw and cut the profile. I'm going to do a little bit of work with the right angle grinder down by my feet there. But first I'm going to put the lines in. I've got a little bit of a bow in him. His head is coming back towards us. Hey, while I'm busy drawing lines all over this thing, reference lines, always draw your reference lines. Go over and check out Jordy Johnson over at Carving Fusion if you have never seen Jordy's stuff. Most of you had. Just Carve Rob. You got Kevin over at Sticks and Stones. Give those guys a look. So I put my center lines in. And if I was a beginning carver, I would definitely put the lines in. Advanced carvers doesn't hurt us either to put them in. That gives us a reference idea of where we're going to. I'm just going to work it down with a green saber taper. I've been wanting to do a hawk for a long time, so I thought I'd do one about a third size on that. And Mike, I said hawk, didn't I? I meant to say Ravin. Meant to do a Ravin on there. You're going to notice that I leave a lot of material up around the beak because it's going to be some pretty intricate hairs coming out of that at a later point. And I'm not going to try to take it all the way down. I'm going to just take certain parts of it and round them out. And then I'm going to work in the round, turning the piece over and over again inside my hands. This is a pretty short video. You'll get down to a few feathers being done on the right side there. And then the second video will show the rest of the feathers and getting into the tail. And I think this time I'll go ahead and show you the painting. Obviously, I'm going to have to do something with the feet. Probably sculpt them over metal. I've switched to a Cuts-All round burr, a green, which Cuts-Alls come in red, green, yellow, and white. White being the highest grit, smoother. So as I'm outlining the rest of the head here on the left-hand side, I put in there the Fairy Muse thing, and it's true. There's a Tom Petty song out there that's kind of fun that I've always loved. It's this cute little hippie girl lives in town, brings a bag of records and she plays them till dawn, gives me a little love, and then she's got to go home. I kind of like that. It's a little hippie girl muse deal, and I just happen to know one of those. Fellow artist, in fact. So here we go, working the beak down through there with the green Cuts-All. We're getting pretty close to where I want to set the eyes. So most of you, if you've been a follower of the channel at any time, I'm going to go ahead and put a center line down through there. I'm going to try to get the eyes symmetrical. Put the bottom of the beak back in. I'm not going to show you the full setting of the eyes on this. You'll have to catch one of the other videos where I spend a little time in there. You'll notice I drew a line across the head and getting the reference, and I'm going to put a red. I'm thinking that's probably about an 8mm, if I'm guessing. I get my glass eyes. They come from Tohican glass eyes. They do cost a little bit. This was probably $6, $7, $8. But once the eyes are set in the birds or any of the carvings, primarily if you're using glass eyes, it kind of makes them come alive. So I switched to a diamond ball to cut those eyes in, or eye sockets. I'm going to set them with quick wood, just a plain clear click wood. That's a 2-part epoxy. So now I'm going to contour from the beak back to the eye line, primarily on these, a little light channel. In fact, I think it's called the eye channel. I'm going to put the cheeks in, leaving a lot of fur around the front of the beak where it connects up to the top of the head, and the cheeks of the beak down on the bottom, because there's a raven as distinguishing him from a crow. In a lot of cases, although ravens are slightly bigger, they have a lot of hairs that pop up around their nose, and they go exactly in the same direction as the beak does, just kind of sticking out. So that makes it a little bit of a challenge, and I'll leave that portion to the next video. We've had a lot of snow up here in Wisconsin. It's come early, and hopefully that means that spring will come, because I've just about had enough winter, and I like a good 4 solid seasons, but in moderation. The Green Bay Packers choked as per their norm. I've switched to a little diamond ball, and now I'm going to contour the cheek feathers down towards the bottom there. And I'm not going to finish the bill out, and I'm not going to do the work around that eye until probably the last portion of the stage. So I'm working in the direction that the feathers would flow. Normally, I would put a line on there to see which direction that is. I do have the dust collector going and a blower off on my left-hand side. A couple times you'll see I forget to turn it on. I've been meaning to do a raven for a long time, and this weekend I finally got around to it. So there's a wood burner from PGL Enterprises over in Minnesota there, and I'm putting, notice I'm going kind of backwards on that. That's the start of those hairs. They're going to go up over his beak, and then now starting to put in the eye line and then the cheek feathers. And you won't see a whole lot of this in this portion. I'm just going to kind of give you a one over the world, and most of this video is done at 2 times the speed. Hey, I need to thank all of you folks who have given me support in the last couple months, and I do appreciate it. And it's amazing, overwhelming. I can't thank you enough and tell you how much it makes my heart grow. So, hey, thanks for all you subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, it doesn't cost you anything. It helps the channel out quite a bit. I would take a video and go through and thank everybody who for the condolences and various different great words, but it'd be too long. So once again, thank you. So I'm shaping the back portion of the bird, just the initial part. It's going to flare back down in there. One of the fun parts of this Raven is going to be the wings. The wings are fairly detailed and sweeping backwards into the bird. A lot of times when a bird or a hawk or a bird of prey, these are not ravens are not birds of prey. Really, they're kind of scavengers. But this guy is going to be all black. I will paint him black, although it'll be a shame because when I get done burning and stoning him, he's beautiful just like that. But he does need to have the black on there in order to sell the whole thing. And this time I'm going to show you a painting that I'll be layering paints, Josonia acrylics for that. And when we get to that video, that, like I said, that'll probably be the third video. All right, so now I'm going to draw in. He starts getting the feather capes on there. And what you're going to see is me drawing the cape in the back. So that's a cape that sits up on the back, on his back. And then the feathers start streaming down in to where they finally pick up and develop into the wings. So I hope everybody had a good New Year this year, and I think my 2023 is going to be substantially better than 2022. So I'm drawing, just kind of roughly drawing in where the long wings will be on that, and I'll reset those here in just a second, and then I'll start doing the carving and lay out the feathers. I was trying to keep this one short, so it's only got about another 3 minutes. And here's me starting to put the feathers in. You don't normally get to see me do a lot of this, so I'll just keep my mouth shut here for a minute, let you gander at the feather work here. I am actually, at this point, starting to put real feathers in. I mean, we're talking barbs going down the left and the right side of the feathers. Doing the feathers in the center where there's a transition between the cape and the top of the wing. I still need to send these pens off. The pens are about 20, 25 bucks a pen. Initially, I run the heavy-duty pens with my preferred is a 10S, a little small spear point. I'm out of those. I've got, I think, 4 pens I need to send back. And if you send those back to Pat over there at JPL Enterprises, he'll put new tips in them for you for about $7, and then he'll send them back. Of course, you have to pay the postage on that, but what the hell, right? One time, it's probably 6 or 7 years ago, I sent some pens back to Pat, and I didn't get them for a long time, so I gave him a call, and he said, "Oh, yeah, I was just getting to those today. I had them under a microscope, and you're not sharpening them right. They don't need what you're doing." And he gave me the one, about an hour worth of One Over the World on how poorly I was treating my pens. And I suspect he's probably right. I mean, but then again, I get about 6 months worth of use out of a tip if I'm doing a lot of burning even. So I'll stick with what I'm doing. Appreciate the advice for sure. But like all advice, including mine, if it fits, use it. If it doesn't work for the style or whatever you're doing, don't. Let it go. So we're getting pretty close to the end of where I'm going to stop this video because it's running into about the 15-minute range. But you can see I just continue working down through here. And this section here, I think, is in real time. So there you go. There's the initial start of the Ravin. I think he's going to turn out to be pretty neat. He's going to have sculpted feet, probably in metal, aluminum, is a good candidate for that, and I'll show you how I go about doing that. And either that or copper, and then there'll be some soldering work done in as I build the toes. Little mini blacksmith work. So hey, thanks a lot. Like, comment, subscribe as always, and bye, my little Pixie Muse. I'll see you